I don't know what's happening. It's just cut off. So I continue with the last one. In the past, I mentioned nowadays all questions, philosophy questions, are related. Let's say, uh, what is consciousness, and what's the nature of it, and what is self? There's another one I'm going to talk about, and how to prove the existence of God, or any new ideas on this, and what is the limit of artificial intelligence, and if there's God, why evil? Things like that. All right. I did give an explanation about the uh, proving of the existence of a religious God, but I did from the point of view of philosophy. That's different from proving the existence of God, but the idea is the same, right? I didn't say exactly the existence in the common sense of existence of the God. The God is supposed to be like a person or something, like some entity in the world. It's not in that sense, okay? And what I'm saying is, from the point of view of philosophy, the absolute can be proven, and I proved it. I tried to prove it, and that the absolute is equal to the God of religious person. That's what I mean. All right. I'm not a religious person in that sense, believing a personal God or something. So I'm a philosopher. So I prove it from the point of view of philosophy. Okay, so I didn't even say the existence of the absolute, but it doesn't make sense to say existence. Okay, instancology and absolutology in this sense is a sort of a matter ontology. Let me use the same word in the tradition of Aristotle's metaphysics. Matter means above or beyond, all right, or after it. So instancology and absolutology is sort of a matter philosophy. Okay, it studies something uh, and the relative, the relative nature, or the relative, whatever the relative. That's the point. Okay, something. Uh, that's a philosophy. But the instancology and absolutology studies beyond this, beyond something. So it's called the absolute. Okay. Okay. Now let me delve into the details of this question I'm trying to answer. That is, what is self, using my new theory, philosophy theory, or new philosophy called instancology and absolutology. Okay, what is self? That question, let me trace first historically, and two philosophers at least I should mention. One is Descartes, the other is Hume. All right. Okay, let's first talk about Descartes. All right. All right. Let's talk about Descartes' theory. For Descartes, and in his uh, six books, right? And he talked about the the process of finding the solid of the reality of knowledge. How to do it? His thought processes to peel off whatever non-essential nature or property of things. Let's say we have a table. Let's say I'm in a house, right? All right, I have something I'm not a good drawer. Let's say in the house, we have books here, we have chairs, we have tables, and everything. Of course, we have. I'm here. I have a human being here. All right. And according to Descartes, let's strip off the non-essential nature of poverty in this space. All right, let's take books away, take chairs away, take the structure of the house away, take the chairs away, and eventually take the bodies away, and come eventually to the mind. That is solid. That is undoubtedly I myself, according to Descartes. Because I'm thinking, so I know for sure nobody can deceive me. I'm the actual person here. So that's his. All other things, delusion, or it's a transient, not on any solid foundation, according to him. Thinking, and I realize my thinking, I'm conscious of it, that is a proof, the solid. Okay, that's Descartes thinking. Okay, so do we have problems with Descartes' way of thinking things? This proof. Well, let me try to challenge this a little. First, what is thinking? Is a consciousness part or is a logical analysis part? Do we need both? If we are conscious of something, isn't the thing to be conscious of, according to Husserl, is an object? Because according to him, anything you are conscious of is a something or object of conscious of. On the other hand, how about thinking, the logical part? We know nowadays computer can do the calculation, can do the syntactical part, right? Does computer have a mind or thinking? That's a challenge nowadays too. Okay, I'll talk about that, answer that question maybe on another time, but not this time. Only let me pose this as a question to Descartes. Also, other examples I give, in Oriental, in Chinese philosophy, or sort of thinkers, there's somebody called Zhuangzi. He's the second in line to Lao Tzu. Okay? Zhuangzi once wrote, I have a butterfly. When I was a butterfly, I fly everywhere and very happily. I suddenly woke up. When I woke up, I don't know. Is the butterfly had a dream of I, or I have a dream of the butterfly? So who am I? I'm a drone or I'm a butterfly. In other words, dreaming and hallucination and any other similar mental activities can mess up with your identity of thinking or consciousness. That's a fact, right? So in this case, you cannot say, I think, therefore I am. Can you? No, you cannot. Because everybody know in dream, we are cut off from the reality. It's like a boat goes to the river and loosen the rope, tying it to a port or the side of the river, right? That's true. We think that's real. You cannot think, I'm dreaming, this is not real. No, you don't have this idea. If you in your dream you think about that, you woke up already. You don't have dream. In dream is a reality. That reality is you are dreamer inside. It's cut off from this world of space and time. Okay? That's another stage of existence. According to Instancology, my theory is a different existence of phases. All right? So, from this, you can see Descartes' foundation. I think, therefore I am, do have problems. Okay? Okay. Secondly, let me talk about Hume. Okay? The British philosopher, one of the three uh, giants of philosopher, David Hume. All right. According to Hume, Descartes, you are not right. Because even the thinking, based on that, you think you are there, you are wrong. Because David Hume thinks who we are, what we are made of, we are a series of thoughts connected to perception. In other words, we are the impression from outside world. They are connected. That's what we are. And they are transient, flying away all the time. It changes. He gave the example like in theater or in film, it's like that. I think in theater, in some ideas like that. Movement. So David Hume is saying we are a series of moments, the impressions, the perceptions cut off, but we connect them all together, strung them together in our mind. That we believe is ourselves. When we were 5 years old, and 10 years old, and 20 years old, and 40 years old, they are all different. But we still are what we are. Why? Because these are the thoughts connected together, and we always have that history of connecting. It's like a thought. So this consciousness, the connecting dots, made who we are, or we think who we are. That's David Hume's idea. So David Hume actually is saying, Descartes, you are not right. You think thoughts or perceptions are what you are? No, they are changing too. So the self changes all the time. You cannot say that the self of a 5 years old is the same as when you are 60 years old. That's not right. That's a human thing. Is that reasonable? Yeah, it is. I feel so. So, distinct points in time and space made who we are. That's Hume's view. Okay? The facts we happen to know, the experience we happen to have, those things make who we are. That's Hume's idea. So, according to Hume, there's nothing definite. There's nothing which can claim to stay forever. Okay, that's his idea. Okay, the basic idea. Okay, let me summarize the two. If we think Descartes' idea, you can see it's what kind of reasoning? Would you say it's a deductive reasoning? From the inner side and push outside. Logic goes outside. It's a deductive reasoning. And from Hume's point of view, it's empiricism. We know from outside, everything cram in, and we filter them and have some left, and that make who we are. Of course, because Hume is one of the empiricists of the three, so the last one. So it's from our side. It's an inductive reasoning, in other words, right? So deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. All right. Next, what's my idea? What's a new explanation from a point of view in Instancology? All right, I give it to you now. Three, point of view. Okay. From the point of view in Instancology, what is self? How self is made? Self is life, grows, matures to the end, to the perfection of producing a pair of property called consciousness and thinking. That's a pair of property in your brain, left side and right side. Syntax versus semantics. That's a function basically each side. Okay, this pair property of thinking the consciousness grow out of the previous one called a previous pair of property called time and space. Okay? Before time and space, there is another phase of development. It is called Big Bang. When Big Bang happened, we know it happened because, according to instancology, because of the absolute. The absolute creates a relative. The relative is something. But of course, the absolute won't let you go free. Won't let you just be yourself without adding anything to it. So the absolute put the seed of life to something, to the relative, to have the Big Bang. The seed of life is searching inside this relative, searching an environment to grow. Eventually, we can call it the solar system. Eventually, it's Earth. Okay? It's the environment life can grow. That's pretty unique. Like a transcendental number. That law governs this. And also, to traverse back, when the absolute created relative is called one, and any one has two. That is matter and the life. And the matter and the life multiply into many, many things. Right? Okay, that's a basic rule of this truth, fundamental truth of Instancology. Okay, now the question is like this. When we have left half and the right half, our brain connected, okay? Connected. According to Instancology, there are a pair of properties. Consciousness is the semantic part. Thinking is the syntax part. They have the property of being absolute, but they are localized absolute. Localized, this important word. When the great absolute, that's the big absolute or great absolute, I call it great absolute, great absolute, create something, either it's a thought or matter here, it is something. It gave you the absolute, less than half of your brain, a sort of unique condition. It will modify something that comes into your brain. That way of modification is you, is the self. In other words, have your brain as a function, the left side, right side, modify the outside impression or perception or thoughts. How to produce thoughts. That's you. That's unique. And that's you. Does this sound reasonable? Think about that. When Hume says the perception makes us who we are. Okay, the question you can ask him, how do you explain why some perceptions are left and some are not? Or who is deciding on this? Sorry. It's hard to say, right? Who is sort of like a God? Who decides which one or where to go? Which impression should be left and which impression should be throughout? Who decides on this? Isn't that the I or self? You can say, that's myself, right? And what is that? How can Hume explain this? And the similar things to Descartes. When you say thought, when you say I think, therefore I am, isn't thinking something which out of the brain? Before you have thought, and thought disappears too. Where am I? Where am I? What is self? That changes. Your thought changes all the time, right? When you are 5 years old, you have thoughts. When you are 60, you have thoughts too. Which one is you? And who decides which thought to change? Descartes cannot answer it, can he? So similar problem for the inductive reasoning for Hume and the deductive reasoning for Descartes. Don't you think so? Okay, now comes in instancology. Instancology tells you when the great absolute here create the relative with life seed in it, it grows into life, grows into consciousness eventually after past a stage of time and space, it got modified in this the relative part. That's the way of modification is you. That's your hallmark of you. That can never change. How you decide to modify the impression, modify the facts, and have your experience, well, part of it, after you grow up, you are mature enough to select. That's the way you make who you are. That stays the same all your life. That's a deciding factor. That's your identity. Think about that. Is that reasonable or not? You are the judge. All right? So that's a total. If you have questions, write it down to the comment. I'll try to answer it and let you more understand fully what I mean by this. But basically, the idea is this, and we are trying to figure out how the new theory can explain the question, what is self, or who am I? You are the modified, localized pair of absolute. That feature is you. Thank you very much. See you next time.